Hey, I'm Makita, and this is my story of healing, self discovery, and empowerment. Join me on my journey of becoming a doctor in America, only to realize the only way to optimally heal myself and others was to leave the US, step into the unknown, and embark on a personal path that would take me across the world. Although I've had to leave behind a guaranteed successful career as a child psychologist, and more importantly, friends and family, I knew my journey was in service of a divine purpose that was bigger than myself. So come along with me. I hope these videos inspire you to seek out your ultimate self, because the world needs you, me, and all of us to rise and shine. Peace, love, light, and life. I am Dr. Makita, and welcome back to my channel. I'm out here enjoying the beautiful nature of my parents' backyard. These big, beautiful elephant ears. Just coming out here, getting some sun, soaking up as much sun as I can, as long as it is here, because we're about to head into winter time, and I haven't had a Georgia winter in a couple of years, so just preparing myself. But I just wanted to hop on, again, a part of my intention. Oh my goodness, look at all these beautiful butterflies and bees. There we go. A part of my intention is sharing more about my own personal journey of healing, of self-discovery, of living a purpose-driven life. So that way people can learn from me, learn things that I'm going through, so that way people don't feel alone, as well as to show more of the valleys. One thing that I've been emphasizing in my group therapy and in some of my individual coaching sessions is that it is natural. The ups and downs of lives are natural. So it is natural to have valleys. Just as much as we want the peaks of life, the valleys are natural. So when they come, we shouldn't sweat it. That's when we should prepare. That's when we should say, okay, this is an opportunity to learn something new. Something similar happens with the global markets, right? When a recession happens or a depression happens, most people panic. But there are certain groups of people who celebrate those moments because they know that in that recession, in that depression, it is time to invest, to really go in, because it's going to come back up. That's just a natural law. So what I've been emphasizing, to my clients is that when you're in that valley, you celebrate it, because one, that every valley is followed by a peak, but also because in that valley, you have the opportunity to learn something valuable that you might not have even discovered when you're in the peak, when all is good, right? When things are flowing for us, we're not really doing a lot of self-reflection. We're just enjoying the goodness. But it's when we hit those valleys that we're just like, hold up, why did this go wrong? What is going on? What do I need to learn? What lessons do I need to overcome? So embracing the valleys. And I want to share more about my valleys, both the ones that are big and the ones that are small. So that way, more of us can know how to operate. So, we know how to invest when we are in those valleys. So that way we're preparing ourselves for the peak and can maximize on that. And some of the things that I'll say have helped me in my valleys is just that perspective. Having the perspective that a valley is an opportunity, a challenge is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to discover more about yourself, to see how strong you are, to see how far you can push yourself, right? Valleys require us to get creative because we have a problem to solve, and problem solving is innately creative, right? So a valley, just changing that perspective that a valley is something that I can welcome. I can see it as an opportunity. That's number one. Number two is knowing that the natural flow of life is an up and down. It's a rise and fall. Prepare ahead of time, right? This is why you want to begin to build a lifestyle of balance and health and happiness. You don't want to just try to, only utilize deep breathing and meditation and eating healthy and working out when things are going crazy. No, because it's hard to do it then. You're in panic mode. You're in survival mode, right? So you want to develop these practices of good sleep, of quality people within your circle, of spending time in nature, right? You want to develop all the stuff ahead of time, so that way when a challenge comes, you're already in this balanced state of mind to where you see, oh, here comes a challenge, right? And you're not getting all flustered and panicky because you never trained your sympathetic or you never trained your parasympathetic nervous system on how to be activated. You're running around with the sympathetic nervous system activated, in this fight or flight mode, right? So preparing early. Another thing I would say is a little bumblebee landing on my finger. And you see, like, I remember that's an example of just like I've trained myself just to be very calm, right? There might have been a time before if a bee came close to me, I would, freak out. But now it's just like, and when you do that, it's just you realize there's so many things that aren't really threatening. There's so many things you don't have to protect yourself from, right? When you train yourself out of that fight or flight mode. And this is all of us. I don't care who you are, what your life experiences are. There is some fear and anxiety trained within you just by existing in the US or any other of these Western countries. Because when you turn on the news, or any type of television program, a lot of it is about fear, violence, division, consumption, and all of these things are going to make us more anxious because they make us feel unsafe and in lack, right? Living in this consumerism society makes us always need to consume things in order to feel adequate, right? And that's another thing of unsafety, right? When you know that you have all that you need and that you can create what you need, that's a more safer and stable place to be in. Right? So noticing what are all the things around you that are causing this sense of unsafety, and what can you eliminate, right? So, maybe not turning on the news first thing in the morning, or not hopping on your Instagram first thing in the morning. And now you're thinking like, oh, all these people have all these great lives and I don't have all that. And now you've set your tone for the rest of the day in an unhealthy tone. Another thing that I do, adequate sleep. I was actually just watching an interview today with Sean Stevenson and Tom Bilyeu. Sean Stevenson is the author of Sleep Smarter, which is a great sleep book. I definitely recommend it. I went from somebody who had chronic insomnia, taking 3 hours to fall asleep at night, to someone I can now just like lay down and like go to sleep by learning the practices and utilizing the practices in his book. And there's tons of different practices, so you kind of have to find out which ones, you have to find out which of those practices are best for you. But getting adequate sleep, right? Because what they've discovered in these research studies is that just by having one night of poor sleep, it like increases your cortisol level. It just puts you in this more state of survival, right? And when you're in a state of survival and kind of anxious, one, you're gonna be feeling anxious, but also two, you're gonna perceive all of your interactions and everything from a certain lens of discomfort. Right? When you sleep and you get adequate, good sleep, your mind is more clear, your body and mind are more calm, and your hormones are more in balance, right? So again, this goes into this creating a healthy lifestyle for you, creating a sense of peace. Another thing is meditation, of course. Meditation is so important because meditation teaches us to be the observer of our experiences versus being so caught up in the chaos of our experiences. So when you can become the observer and recognize that there is some separation between the chaos, then you can look at it and be like, okay, there's this problem going on right here. And okay, now I can see all the solutions. Versus most people, when a problem happens, they get so immersed in the problem becomes who they are, and now they're blaming themselves and all this mess, and now they're suffering, right? When a challenge, like suffering, we don't have to suffer, right? You can experience hardships, you can experience anger and sadness and all these in the moment temporary emotions, but suffering is when we really internalize it and make it this like lasting thing. We don't have to do that part. So when we meditate, we can get that level of objectivity to separate ourselves from our problems. And then we also have better control over our sense of relaxation. So now you know how to get yourself into that calmer state. You know how to manage your thoughts, right? You know how to take those deep breaths. You know how to show compassion because you're able to connect. Look at these little beautiful butterflies. You know how to connect with the beauty around you. You know how to recognize hurt people are hurting you, and that it's really not about you, it's really just about their hurt. So meditation really gives us this broader level of awareness. It really opens up some wisdom and insight for us. Other things I would suggest would be just get in the habit of creating getting used to discomfort. So because challenging situations are uncomfortable, most times we avoid them, or when we're going through them, we suffer. But if you train yourself to be used to discomfort, then when a challenge comes up, you're just like, I'm built for this. Like, I've done this before. And the best ways to do that for me personally is going to the gym. I'm walking into the gym knowing I'm going to do something that's painful, something that I'd rather not do, but I know it is necessary, one, to train my body, but also, more importantly, to train my mind that when things are uncomfortable, that doesn't mean that I should stop, right? What I've learned is that when something is uncomfortable, I continue to go forward, because if I move through that discomfort, then that's where I get to experience change. That's where I get to experience growth on the other side of that. Other things that can help is taking cold showers. I think I mentioned that before in other videos. Doing hard tasks. So if you have a whole list of things you need to do that day, do the hardest, most undesirable one first. Wake up early. Put your phone on the other side of the room, so when that alarm goes off, you get up, you have to go over there to get it. Let's see what else. And exposure. Exposure is a common practice that we use in therapy for people with anxiety, helping them to overcome that anxiety, because we know that in order to overcome your anxiety, you have to expose yourself to the situation that is causing that anxiety. Because what has happened is that your brain has perceived this thing that seems, to most people, might seem minimal. Your brain has built this association and a perception that it feels threatened by this thing that it should not feel threatened by. And in order for you to change that thought process, you have to continue to expose yourself to that thing over and over again until your brain is like, oh wait, actually this thing is safe. It's not causing me harm. I am still alive, right? And this is what I had to personally do for like public speaking and modeling. Both of those things used to give me like, I would freeze in anxiety. You know, my heart would be racing, especially with public speaking. Oh my gosh, like it was like the worst thing you could ask me to do. But now I love public speaking. And it was only because I recognize this is something that I'm afraid of, but I don't want to be afraid of it, because I wanted to be able to help people. I wanted to be able to speak to people. So I put myself in situations where I had to speak. I kept getting on Instagram Live, leading live meditations and things like this, until over time that anxiety kind of faded into the background to where now I truly believe that I enjoy public speaking. So now when I'm invited to speak and some of that anxiety comes up, I'm just like, oh, you know, it's going to happen, but I'm not going to I'm not going to allow that feeling of anxiety to make me think that I'm not good at public speaking or that I'm not supposed to be here, right? I just recognize like, oh, that's that feeling it's going to come up, but I'm not going to let it stop me from doing what I want to do. So exposing yourself to the things that make you uncomfortable allows you to get over those things, right? And by getting over those fears, you know, you really expand your world in a beautiful way. And that's what we're here to do, is to enjoy all of life and not feel like we have to avoid certain things. So, you know, and this even includes the challenges. You know, we're supposed to experience challenges. Again, it's a natural part of life. So instead of going through that challenge very cut off and not really taking in the full experience, go in heart fully open, mind fully open, so that way you can fully experience what that challenge is showing you. And then that way you don't have to repeat it again, right? Because you got all the information this time around, because you went in with an open heart and an open mind. So, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say. But I think that's pretty much it. That's enough for this video. I'm trying to keep these videos pretty short, so that way you all can just get some sound bites, and whatever information is in there for you, you can take it and go on. And you know, I'm over here just enjoying these beautiful little butterflies and bees and all these beautiful things out here. But yeah, so we are headed into the winter, and we're gonna thrive through this winter. You know, go ahead and get that gym membership. This is another thing I learned today. if you are wanting to build consistency in your physical fitness practice, but you're struggling to get to the gym or do whatever, you're thinking like, I don't have that much time in my schedule, I don't even want to think about going to the gym for an hour or 30 minutes, whatever it is. There is this technique, it's called Tabata, T-A-B-A-T-A, and it's a 4-minute workout, y'all, a 4-minute workout. And they said, and this was from the same interview I was watching, these scientists showed that 4 minutes of this workout was as effective as 45 minutes of cardio. And basically, it's a high intensity interval training where you're exercising high intensity for 20 seconds, resting 10 seconds, and you repeat that for either 4 to 5 whole minutes, right? And that's 45, like that's quality workout. So all you need is 5 minutes a day, and just do that daily. And gradually you'll want to increase it over time, but that's all you need to do. So don't make these goals of yours so big that you just freeze and you don't move. My video cut off. But what I was saying is that you plant these seeds now and the harvest will be as beautiful as these elephant ears, okay? Right? So all that you desire, it is possible for you. Put in the work, seek the support, seek the help of those around you. Trust that it is yours, whatever you want. The universe, the Most High, you want to give it to yourself. It is already there. It's already available. It is law that as soon as it is in your mind, that it exists in a certain dimension. And we just have to work through this time delay and have it manifest here on earth. But whatever you want, it is yours. Show how much you believe that it is yours through your actions, and it will be yours. It will come to you in bigger ways than you can even imagine. Okay? So I'm sending y'all peace, love, light, and life. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace. Thanks so much for watching this video all the way to the end. And if it brought you value, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you are looking to deepen your meditation practice, you can join me for my weekly meditation group that happens every Monday, as well as each 7th of every month. I go live on Instagram with my bestie to do meditation and yoga. And you can also find me on the Parallel Paths podcast, where each season we dive into a different topic related to the mind, body, spirit. This past season we went through the chakras. All right, peace, love, and light. Stay soul powerful.